70s. So what is that? That's like 60 years. My gosh, that's a long time. Anyway, so fun fact, Ghost Adventures has actually done paranormal investigations there. They are actually the very first paranormal group ever to have been able to explore the place. So if you're a big Ghost Adventures fan, you probably know this place. So, story starts about 5 years ago in 2018. My friend Chantel and her boyfriend, they messaged me and they asked me if I wanted to go explore the abandoned building. This was after Ghost Adventures had already been there, by the way. And I was like, yeah, because there was actually a point where they were holding tours, and again, this was after Ghost Adventures, because prior to that, nobody was allowed in the building. But a couple of friends of mine and I decided to go up there, and there was actually a lot of people up there, and they weren't expecting that many people, so we were waiting in line outside in the freezing October cold, because October in Minnesota/Wisconsin is pretty rough. It's very rough. Although, like, so far this year, it's actually been not that bad. It's really weird, the weather this year, yeah. Anyway, so we were waiting outside in the freezing cold for over an hour. You know, we're slowly moving up in the line. And finally, when we're about to be literally the next group in, they tell us that they have to shut it down because they weren't expecting this many people and they didn't have a permit. So, I was pretty disappointed. I think that was in like 2016. So, 2 years later, in 2018, when my friend and her boyfriend asked me if I wanted to go explore the building, even though technically that's trespassing and it's illegal, I said yes. I said yes because I like ghosties and I like exploring abandoned places. And you know what? I waited outside in the freezing cold for over an hour. You know what? I think I want to be like self-centered, but like I'm gonna go into that building and I'm gonna explore it because I think I paid my dues, okay? So they pick me up, and I think the car ride out there, because it's in the middle of nowhere, it was probably like 20 minutes. So we drive up, and there's this giant gate, so we literally have to get outside the car. The gate's too high, we can't climb over it, so we wander into the woods a little bit, and we climb over the fence, and then we climb back up the hill onto the road, and we start our trek towards the building. And it's I'm really bad at like estimating distances, but just leave a building to decay like that, you know, like, even if like the sanatorium or the institution is no longer in service, I still feel like they could have done something else with the building and done repairs. I'm not really sure what's happened with the building in its current state now. I know that they were thinking about destroying it back in 2020 because now it would need so many like repairs. But you know, it is kind of like a historic building, so I feel like it should be preserved. Anyway, I just really think I like watching videos on YouTube of people exploring abandoned buildings. I just think it's really beautiful. And it's kind of like touching history, like, I can't remember the name of this channel, but it's basically two guys. I think it's The Proper People. I can't remember the exact name, but two guys that, you know, explore abandoned buildings. And I remember there's one video they did where they explored this 1920s theater, and whoever owned the building then, or I don't even know if somebody owns the building anymore, but it was basically being used for storage, even though it was filled with like a bunch of junk. You could still see like the beauty of the place. The architecture was amazing, and if you kind of just sit back and look at it, you can imagine what it would be like back then to just get all dolled up and see a magnificent show take place in such a beautiful place. I mean, the architecture is just, I mean, it's beautiful, and people don't make things like that anymore, and I really think they oughta, you know. I feel like, not to get off topic, but I feel like that is something that helps boosts people's morale, you know. Like, the planet is so beautiful, and I feel like architecture now is just so like cold and soulless, lifeless. And this is super off topic, but I feel like decorating your bedroom is super, super important for your mental health and well-being. I just feel like you should design your room in a way that's like, when you walk into the room, it feels like the walls are like embracing you. And I don't know, I think that doesn't just extend to like decorating your room, but also just like the way that buildings are designed. Anyway, so sorry I got so off topic. Anyway, so when I was exploring the abandoned sanatorium with my friend and her boyfriend, it was a cool experience. It was kind of freaky because there were parts of it where it felt like, you know, if it was a scary movie, the killer would like pop out at any moment. It was freaky, but it was still a good experience. But there was one point where opposite direction. And for some reason, we're like, wait, let's go check it out. Yeah, you know, those stereotypical people in scary movies, yeah. So that's what we did. And we walked into this room, and a couple of birds flew straight at us, like which typically happens in scary movies. So whoever puts that in movies, you know, you're doing a good job, because that's very realistic. But we're like, oh, it's probably just the birds. I don't think so. I think we knew what we saw. But anyway, so we explore the rest of the building, you know. Each of the floors are basically the exact same. So we get outside and we're like, yeah, that was cool. When my friend decides that she wants to go to the basement, her boyfriend's like, no, I'm good. Because honestly, he didn't even really want to be there. He told her that if she could find somebody to go with them, then he would go. And they found me. Anyway, so I was like, I'm kind of like tired, you know, like I had my fair share of spooky moments, like I'm good. So she keeps poking me, it's like, come on, let's go, come on, please, pretty please. And I'm like, okay, let's go to the basement. So we're walking down the stairs, and I swear I heard like faint laughing. I swear. She said she didn't hear anything. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's just my head, okay? Maybe I'm just a bit frazzled. We go down the stairs. The basement's basically empty. It's kind of like, well, it's a basement. We're walking, and then we walk into this room, and it has glass all over the floor. And we're talking to her boyfriend through the window. Then we leave the room, and for some reason, like I have a flashlight and I'm also recording, and so we're like walking to the left, and I keep getting like pulled to the right, like she's going this way, and I'm starting to walk this way, but I keep turning my camera this way, and that was also the direction that I heard the laughing when we went down the stairs. So I don't know like what it was, but something was pulling me to go right. I don't know what it was. And as soon as I'm doing that, my friend says, Lucy, can you come here? And I follow her, and we're headed towards this tunnel, and it has spray painted "Let Us Out." And as we're walking towards it, we both hear a voice say, don't walk down there. So we both hear it, and it doesn't, like, she's next to me, she didn't say it, I didn't say it, her boyfriend is her boyfriend, like he has a guy voice, he didn't say it, it the stairs. We climb out the window of the door, and we, catch our breath. And then I look at my phone, and I realize that it's still recording. And I play the video back, and you can hear the fucking voice on video. Like, there's nobody there. Like, we would know if there was somebody there. It's in the middle of nowhere. There's no cars around us. We've been there for well over an hour, like nearly 2 hours. There was nobody else there. And I still have that video to this day. I actually made this video telling this story on my old channel. I'm gonna leave the link in the description box below with the timestamp so you guys can hear it. It sounds better if you wear earbuds. It's really peculiar because when it was happening in real time, it sounded so clear and so real. But for some reason in the video, it sounds so faint. That experience has literally scared the living shit out of me. I've always liked ghosts and spooky stories and paranormal experiences. Like, I love that stuff. But when that experience happened to me, it literally shook me to my core. It chilled me to the bone. And for literally like 3 years, I just stopped. I stopped watching spooky movies, spooky videos on YouTube, conspiracy theories, anything that was like dark energy or like, had like a heavy theme. I completely got it out of my life. And the crazy thing is, I didn't even do it consciously. It was just like, it happened subconsciously. It was like my body was like, nope, nope, nope. And that was a pretty big part of my life. Like, I loved spooky stuff, and I still do. Back in 2021, I was recommended a video series by TFIL when they went to the, I can't remember the name of the hotel, it's in LA, where that one girl, Elisa Lamb, passed away. I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of the hotel. I don't know why the name Cortez is popping in my head, but that's not it. Hotel Cecil, that's what it is, the Cecil Hotel. And that basically reignited my interest in this stuff, even though it's bad. I know it's bad. It piques my interest. I am trying to, follow Jesus because he was obviously a good man, but and I don't think that he would really, condone that kind of behavior, but like, it piques my interest. It's just, it's I don't know. I don't think the woman's voice that I heard, like, I don't think that it was malicious, because as it turns out, that tunnel that we were headed towards was the tunnel that they wheeled dead bodies down, yeah, so obviously she was telling us not to go down that way because, ew, it's icky. But yeah, so that experience has solidified for me that ghosts are absolutely real.